too fast. Mabel, step on the car roof so
Yee-haw! That did her! Thanks, Alfie!
So they finally gave me my own sales team after I practically had to beg them for it.
No kidding. I'm glad to hear they've finally come around. You get your own office too?
No, not yet.
Ah, well, things will work themselves out. I mean, it's only been, 3 years?
4, actually.
Well, you can't expect to become an overnight success, especially not with such a risky project. Have they at least given you a nicer car?
No, I'm still driving that old green heap around.
Ah, I see. Well, business talk aside, how's your brother doing?
Good, as far as I know. I haven't really spoken to him in a couple of months. Last I heard, he was going back to visit our mother. Wouldn't surprise me if he was asking to borrow some money. But then that's Beau for you. Born with a silver spoon in his mouth and spoiled rotten ever since. Anyway, Meeks, it was a pleasure catching up, but I really should be going.
Have a good one, Banks.
Mr. Banks, a message came for you from Mr. Merrick. He said to meet him at his mother's home as soon as possible.
Thank you, Morris. It's been a while since I've been here. I wonder why George invited me.
Hello, Alfie. Glad you could make it.
Thanks for having me. It's great seeing you all, although I have to confess I'm a bit confused as to why I'm here.
I'm glad to see he's managed to stay modest.
It is one of his better qualities, Mother. I just wanted to say that over the past few years, you've been extremely valuable to us. Not only have you helped immensely with establishing Coral Gables, you've also managed to climb the ranks in the office in a relatively short amount of time.
Oh, George, stop beating around the bush, would you? He knows what he's accomplished. What he's trying to say, Alfie, is that you're a man who can get things done. And as it happens, we need you for something very important.
Yes. Thank you, Eunice. My dear wife, always to the point. In any case, we're getting close to incorporating Coral Gables as a city, and that requires a special team. A team I want you to be a part of.
I'm honored, sir.
As I'm sure you've heard, we're only a day away from launching our electric streetcar line. We'll be having a ceremony to commemorate the launch. But we'll also be making a very important announcement. The new mayor of Coral Gables.
Mayor?
Yes, every new city needs a mayor. Since we're not a very big city, we have the luxury of foregoing elections and having the first one appointed. I think announcing the mayor along with the streetcars will bring heaps of publicity. Wouldn't you say so, Miss Douglas?
I've already got most of the article written. Just need to punch it up a bit with the details.
Why not bring in someone well-known to make a speech at the ceremony? That would certainly make an impression.
I thought you might suggest something like that, Banks. Did you have anyone in mind?
Not for certain, but I'm sure I can find someone in town.
I might be able to help you there, Alfie.
Well then, I look forward to seeing what you accomplish.
Good afternoon, Eunice.
Good afternoon, Alfie. What's on your mind?
Any insights on places I might be able to...
I haven't really been out much lately, but I've heard that the Venetian pool is drawing quite the crowd. It's a beautiful day. Why not go there and get some sun? You might meet someone interesting, too.
I just might do that. Thanks. You're his wife. Surely George has let something slip about who's going to be mayor.
Oh, Alfie, you know how George is about secrecy. Even if he had told me I couldn't say. Especially considering he's standing right over there.
Hello.
You'll find out along with the rest of us.
How have you been? It's been a...
It really has been too long, Alfie. But I've been well, thank you. Mostly busy with the PTA at the school George built a couple of years ago. We should have these little gatherings more often. You know you're always welcome here.
I'll speak to you later.
Okay.
I'm eager to see what you come up with, Banks. There never seems to be...
I greatly appreciate your help, son. You truly go above and beyond.
Hello, Mrs. Merrick.
Hello, dear.
How have you been feeling?
Just fine, thank you. I'm content to stay in and watch everything going on around.
I'm impressed by all the changes myself. I can't imagine what it must be like for someone who's lived here for so long.
I'm curious to know what this place will look like and
Oh, I'm sure you will. You must be proud of your son.
extremely. George always did have ambitions, but to see him succeed. From what George has told me, I'm sure your parents are proud of you too.
Yes, I think they are. Would you happen to have an idea of where I might be able to find some well-known people in the community to speak at tomorrow's event?
Well, I don't get out too much these days, but I've heard that some notable people have been playing at the Biltmore Golf Course.
Great. I'll swing by. No pun intended. Nice talking with you.
Always.
I greatly appreciate.
I just knew this hard work would all pay off. Oh, George, you sneaky old egg. Alfred Banks, first mayor of Coral Gables. If only you could see me now, Father. Begging your pardon,
What is it, boy?
I'm sorry to bother you, but you look incredibly familiar. Have we met?
Depends. You're not a politician, are you?
No.
Didn't think so. You look too clean. I'm William Jennings Bryan. You may have heard of me if you've read a newspaper in the last 30 years.
Of course. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Bryan. My name's Alfie Banks. I work with George Merrick on the Coral Gables Development Project.
I'm sure that's very exciting work, young man. You tell Mr. Merrick that this pool of his is quite enjoyable.
If I'm not mistaken, you're...
You bet your buttons I am. These freewheeling wets must be going through a tough time, not having been able to drink in all these years. I was having a conversation with one just last week. He was complaining about limiting freedoms by not allowing the enjoyment of alcohol. Do you know what I said to him? I said, well, if you need it so much, why don't you just call up your pal, Charles Darwin, and have him evolve you an extra hand to slap yourself in the face? Ha! You should have seen the look on him. I love throwing their ridiculous rhetoric back in their faces.
I'll let you get back to your...
Appreciate.
Nice day for it.
Yeah, nice day. Wish that building back there was done already. The noise is awfully distracting.
Nice day.
Yeah.
Say, would you mind if I had one of these teas?
Help yourself.
Welcome to the Gables Diner, sir.
Neither, actually. I was wondering if I could ask you a couple questions. I've never seen you before.
It's coming up on my 6th month next week.
Oh, I guess it's been longer than I thought since I've been by. Hold that thought. I'll be back. Hello, Meeks.
Thanks, it's good to see you.
Begging your pardon. Could I be bold enough?
I'd say that is fairly, but boldness is a quality I admire.
The thing is, Mr. Merrick is having a ceremony tomorrow to unveil the new line of streetcars.
Not interested. Streetcars are just...
I don't...
Now is not the time for debate, son. Suffice it to say that the corporations running the streetcars don't represent the interests of the common man. And I very much care about the interests of the common man. so you'll understand if I politely decline your proposal.
Mr. Bryan, if you would just listen a moment,
Well, the least I can do is offer you the Right. You think I should speak at this rally sponsored by the Streetcar Corporation. I eagerly await your reasoning.
My boss, Mr. Merrick, he cares about the people. You ought to hear him talk. He doesn't care about profits. He just wants to build a community people can enjoy.
Is that so? He sounds like a man I could respect. I have to admit, what I've seen so far of his project has been inspiring. That he's doing it for the sake of the people is even more so. Not to be rude, but what exactly is the point of this rally, if I might ask?
We're trying to let the community know what the Gables has to offer. It's merely to benefit those who don't know about it and may be interested in moving there.
Sounds noble enough. I can support that motivation. I'm sure you understand my caution at lending my support. What sort of image is Merrick trying to go for?
He's focusing on aesthetics. Coral Gables is the city beautiful.
The city beautiful. I do like the sound of that. I'd say it's fairly admirable to be concerned with how your city looks. You don't find that ideal in many real estate types these days.
Listen, Mr. Bryan, I'm not going to take up much more of your day. I just want you to consider my offer one last time. Your presence at the rally will ensure that the people leave with the proper ideals and finely tuned moral compasses.
Well, when you put it that way, it does make the prospect sound considerably more appealing.
So what do you say?
All right, you convinced me. You let Mr. Merrick know I'll speak at that rally. Just tell me where and when I need to be there.
I'll be sure to pass. George?
You don't say. That's fantastic. Excellent work, Alfie. This will be a great boon to publicity. Make sure you're there bright and early tomorrow. I want you standing next to me when we make the announcements.
You've got it. See you tomorrow.
And so you can all look forward to a bright future in this, the City Beautiful.
Thank you, Mr. Bryan. May I say it's been an honor and a privilege to have you here with us today. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude and launch our fleet of streetcars, bringing Coral Gables into the modern age, there's one more matter to attend to. I want to take this opportunity to thank Alfie Banks. Without his hard work, Coral Gables wouldn't even be close to where it is today. Which brings me to the last order of business. As you all know, we have been incorporated as a city, and every city deserves a mayor. So without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to announce the first mayor of the city of Coral Gables. Edward Doc Dammers.
Thank you, George. It's an honor. People of Coral Gables, allow me to express my excitement at this wonderful opportunity. As your mayor, I guarantee a standard of living like no other.
Would you excuse me?
Well, well, if it isn't Alfie Banks. Fancy running into you at the Biltmore. I thought you'd picked up and gone back to New York. Where have you been?
I've been around.
Oh, come on. You can't still be sore about being snubbed for mayor, can you?
How did you...
I'm a journalist, Banks. It's my job to notice things. It's been over a year. Can't you let it go?
It's just... I feel like all the work I've put in over the past few years has meant nothing. Honestly, what do I have to show for it? I came down here to restore my family name, to